There are lots of After Effects expressions that you can use as a designer, but which ones are the best that you can use if you don't want to memorize a lot of code? In this tutorial, I'll go over the number one After Effects expression I use a lot. I would say I use this a lot as a motion designer, making LED video wall graphics, making different animations, because it's so powerful and so intuitive. And if you're anything like me, I don't know code, I just want to design. And expressions are really powerful, and just knowing some of them can really help you out inside After Effects. So in this tutorial, I'm going to go over the number one expression I use all the time, and some tips if you're entering into the expression world and don't want to spend a lot of time learning code and just get to animating and designing. So let's get started. So the first thing you'll notice on my screen is, as a designer and a motion designer, I have an After Effects shortcuts and effects list. I highly recommend doing this if you're a motion designer and you don't want to learn a lot of code. For expressions, time is money. And I found making this list is very helpful. That way I don't have to memorize 100 different pieces of expressions and codes inside After Effects. So if we scroll down here, you'll see that I have a section for expressions. And the one that I'm gonna go to is ValueAtTime. This is by far the most powerful expression that I've come across. And I'll show you what I mean here. So inside After Effects, say I have a bunch of shapes or layers, and you want to animate one, but you want to apply the same animation to all the others. You have the power using this expression to apply the same animation to all of them with only animating one single layer. And not only that, but you have also the power to change the animation speed, the different keyframe parameters of that one animation, and all the other layers will update, as well as time offsetting. Because not only does it copy the keyframes, but you can offset the time as well. So say if I wanted this shape layer to scale in, and then this one to come in a half second later, and then this one coming in a second later, and this one coming in a second and a half later, well, you get the point. So they'll all come in a half second after each one. And this can make some beautiful designs, and the sky is the limit to this expression because you can really use it in 100 different ways when designing in motion design inside After Effects. So let me show you how this works. So the first thing you want to do here is select the first layer. We'll keyframe the scale. So we'll click on the stopwatch. We'll go out to about 15. We'll click another keyframe, go back. We'll make the value 0. So we have that. Do function F9, and that'll add easy ease keyframes to them. We'll go back to scale, click on this handlebar, drag this out. That way we get that. And now we want to add this basically scale parameter to this, and all the other scales. So inside the Word document, what we'll do is copy this. We'll copy this expression. And if you want to use this for your projects, I'll copy this expression in the video description below. So feel free to get it there if you're looking for it. And we'll go back into After Effects. And what we're going to do is go to the layer right above it, bring up the scale parameter, and option click on the stopwatch to bring up the expression controls and paste it inside there. Then paste all of it. So we'll add the end parentheses and semicolon, and we'll click off. So if we watch this back, you'll see how that works. So what this expression is basically saying is it's saying, I'll just go line by line here, inside this composition, this layer follow the index +1. And what index is basically the number inside After Effects. So if you look at, this is index 11. And what it's saying is follow index +1, which is 11 + 1, which is 12. So it's saying basically follow the layer that is this index number +1. So it's following index 12. Transform the scale at value time -0.5. So it's basically saying follow the scale of the index number +1 at the scale, offset the time by half a second. And that's basically what it's doing if you watch the animation. It's following the scale of this layer half a second off, but it's the same exact animation. And you'll notice earlier I was in the graph editor. And if you wanted to make an adjustment to those keyframes, that would be a headache trying to edit those keyframes for every single layer. And to show you how powerful this is, I'm just going to copy the scale parameter and apply it to all the other layers, and you'll notice a beautiful sequence of events here. When you play this back, everything comes in like that. So you can see how powerful this is, and the possibilities are endless using this expression. By far, this is probably the one I use the most often, and it gives the most dynamic, easiest effect that you can add to layers inside a composition inside After Effects. So I hope you found this tutorial helpful. If you're looking for the best After Effects, I highly recommend, if you're not into coding, to make a sheet like I did that goes over all of the different expressions. I would honestly start with the YouTube channel listed below in my description. They're really great at explaining expressions, how to use them. This is where I got most of the ones I use, and they're, can't remember off the top of my head the name, but it's in the description below if you're looking to learn more about expressions. I am nowhere close to his level on expressions inside After Effects, and I really look to him for guidance when using expressions. So I highly recommend checking out his channel to learn more about expressions. But by far, the best one I found is this one for most cases. It really comes down to the project as well. Sometimes you want to do a certain look or a certain animation, and just knowing how expressions work in general will help you get there to achieve your design goals. So, you know, expressions are a tool, just know how they work, and you can always find out the exact code later when it's time to use that expression. So there you go. I hope you found this tutorial helpful. If you're new to expressions, you wanted to see a very useful one, and feel free to like, subscribe to the channel to see more videos like this, and we'll see you next time. Thanks for watching.